Hey, 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 this is your host, Jasmine Haley of the Legacy Speaker Show, and today's guest is a repeat guest, Erin Neuhardt. Welcome to the show again.
Thanks for having me back. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, let me tell you something. We happened to be chatting, and she brought up her history. And I was like, we have got to record a separate podcast episode for this. So
Mhm.
let me introduce you to Erin. Erin Neuhardt is a visibility consultant, speaker, and teacher who is passionate about working with individuals who have a message to share with the world. Erin was involved with TEDx for 4 years, y'all. And 2 of those years, she was a lead organizer. Whoop, whoop. She believes that any visibility tactic can work and that there are ideal ways for us to show up and be visible. Erin's Soul Aligned Visibility Workshop helps attendees find their most aligned ways of being visible through the use of human design and the gene keys. Welcome once again.
Thanks for having me back, Jasmine. I always love talking with you.
Absolutely. And I feel the same way. So we got to talk about TEDx.
Yeah,
Number
let's do
one,
it.
I have actually never had an interest in doing a TEDx ever.
Okay.
And I almost wonder if part of the reason why is afraid of getting that visible. I gotta be
Mm.
honest, even for me. And so I've kind of dabbled in listening to people kind of talk about it and what it can mean.
Yeah.
And I want to use this episode to help people appreciate how it can elevate their speaking
hmm
and how they can position themselves and their authority with the TEDx talk. Now, I know that there's some things we kind of have to demystify and also educate others on, but
Yes.
I know that I'm actually ready now to submit an application. I can't believe I'm saying that. And I'm ready to see how my message can be broadened out in a
Yes.
really wonderful way. So let's break down a little bit about what exactly is TEDx. What is it?
Great. TEDx is they're independently organized events. It's part of, you can receive a license from the TED organization. So the TED is the big, TEDx is the independently organized events. And and really it's up to the organizers as to how they want to shape that event. There are certain standards that we want to really keep in mind in terms of the length of the talk and things like that. But then it's up to the organizers to really shape what the theme is and who they want to speak. And each organization is very different. So where I was doing one in the state of New Hampshire, there were 4 other TEDx like organizations around us. We all had a different flavor, we had a different style, we had a different approach. And so really it's very exciting. And some people will do a half day event or an evening event, some people do full day conferences, some people do multi-day conferences. And it just really depends on the organization that is close to you. But if you go to TEDx.com, you can actually look up and see all of the events that are going on around the world. And it's a great way to start to familiarize yourself with maybe some that are closer to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I want to know, like, from you, especially with you being a visibility consultant, why
Mhm.
would TEDx be a great option for speakers to consider?
Yeah. So I always say that most everyone has an idea worth sharing, right? So it's it's really about, do you have an idea worth sharing, and is a shorter format talk something that appeals to you and is something that you want to try and attempt, right? This is sometimes the hardest people for us to work with are speakers, professors, people
Mhm.
who are used to giving keynotes that are an hour and a half long,
Mhm.
um, and and industry experts, because you have such a deep knowledge of your topic that it's hard for you to distill it to what the TEDx format really is. And what I would say is that while you have a depth and breadth of knowledge that you can go super deep, the TEDx format, the idea worth sharing is that like 50,000 foot view, right? It's giving them one single spot of how you want to change the world or an idea that you really want to leave people with, and then creating the story around that. And so it's exciting because it's very different from a keynote or a workshop or anything like that. And also, I would say that where if you're giving a workshop or a keynote, it's usually about several different pillars, or it's a framework that you're teaching, or you're really looking to transform people in terms of like, here's a step by step in terms of how to get from one place to another. A TEDx is really just that spark to change the minds of other people and leaving them with a maybe an aha or thinking about things in a little different way. So does
Oh,
that help?
yeah, and I really love that you share that, because one of the things that we had talked about, not recorded, was for me, my heart methodology. I work with people who are creating keynotes, courses, or workshops. I will not coach anyone that's doing a TEDx, because
Mm-mm,
the talk is different.
totally.
And it isn't something I've actually done. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
implemented it. And I know that there's a different framework of how you approach your messaging. And
Yeah.
so for others that are out there, I really think it's important for you to get really good at deciphering the type of coach that you decide to hire, especially for this,
Yes.
because just in your explanation alone shows how different this is. And you have to be able to speak in a concise and impactful and transformative way without
Yes.
overloading with them. And I've seen some TEDx talks that was like, ooh.
Right, right. And that's something actually I want to address, Jasmine, is that, because they're independently organized, the
Mhm.
level of oversight or hand holding or support that you receive as a speaker really depends on which TEDx organization you decide to apply to and partner with. And so it is okay to go out and seek additional support, to get a coach that is specific to TEDx, who really understands the inner workings of it. And likely a lot of those TEDx coaches are well networked so that they already know some of the organizations and can help you with that streamlined process of submitting an application, right?
Yes.
I work with a few coaches that are my colleagues, but they really look at what is the message first, and we hone in on the message, and then we go and put it out and apply to the different TEDx stages so
Mhm.
that you have a better chance of
Yeah.
really securing one.
Yeah, and you want to be able to leverage this. We'll talk a moment in just about leveraging this, because I remember specifically watching a TEDx talk, a few, and I have a different eye than the average person. I'm a speaker coach.
Yes.
I'm a
Yep.
speaker consultant, so I'm looking at like how are they packaging their information.
Great.
And I noticed that this one speaker was starting off pretty good, but then entered in an element that took everybody off track to what the
Mm,
fundamental message was. And when you get an opportunity like this, I know that the application phase is not an easy one. There's a lot of prep that goes into it. You have a prime opportunity to share your message in a way and leverage it beyond anything that you could possibly foresee.
yes.
So let's talk about ways in which people have leveraged it so they
Perfect.
understand the importance of preparing appropriately for an opportunity like this.
I love it. So first of all, what I would say is that I at the TEDx that I was a part of, our organization, we received around 125 applications for 12 spots each year,
Wow. Wow. Say that
right?
one more time. Say that one
Okay.
more time.
We received 125 applications for 12 spots. And I will also say ours was kind of a medium sized to a smaller organization. There are some, if you are going after one of the bigger ones, a bigger city, a bigger metro area, that they may receive hundreds or even upwards of 1,000 applications for a very small number of spots. And so making sure that you stand out is really, really important. One of the things that really for us, and this is just me speaking from my own personal experience, is that if I saw somebody who looked like they were just promoting their business or they wanted to promote their program or they led with it the fact that they were a coach and like this is their proprietary information, that really was a turnoff to me because it felt like they were using this as a platform to promote their business. And
Mm,
TEDx is really about promoting ideas worth spreading. And
mm,
so when you take whatever it is that your sole mission, and you elevate it to what is the actual impact you want to make, that was the first thing that we would really look for is who wants to make an impact or who has a new idea or a new way of looking at things that really we haven't seen or haven't heard expressed before. That's number one. I would say that in terms of leveraging this opportunity, being able to know that you are also going to be a partner in spreading that message,
mm,
right? So you're going to be on that stage the day of, and then your talk is going to be put online and is going to be shared and
mm,
is going to go around and people are going to be able to see it. If you take that opportunity to really look at how you, from your side of things, can spread that message as well. It's just like a mini launch, right? Look at your network, look at who you can engage, look at the organizations maybe that you've worked with before so that you can get them on board and say, okay, this is coming out. I would love if you would share it. And that's where it really is a grassroots effort where you can get that talk to go a little wider than just having your friends and family watch it or the people who are involved in that specific TEDx watch it. So I hope that does that answer your question or help a little bit,
yeah,
Jasmine?
absolutely. I love the fact that you brought out that there's a little bit of marketing that we have to consider.
There's the marketing. Yep. It's like any other, it's like a course or a book or anything else.
Yes.
You don't just arrive and say, okay, it's here.
Yes.
You have to believe in it and allow it to get legs and help it get out there into the world as well. So yeah.
I love that. And I wonder for some speakers if
Mm,
they consider almost like, because there's like a launch runway, that's like a pre-launch, you get people excited about it, then it happens,
yes.
right? And then there's a post-launch, like what the marketing that happens after. And I wonder if they take it the same way. Like they get people excited about it, they do the TED
Mhm.
Talk, and then they continue the marketing after.
100%. And I think that one of the things that truly is um, maybe an afterthought in some ways when you're doing a TEDx in person, just like any of us who speak on stages, if we are a speaker, you obviously have that captive audience on the day of, right? But a TEDx is something that can live on forever. It's going to
Mm,
be out in the ether forever. And so really, yes, there's that like excitement about I'm giving a TEDx and here's the date and I'd love for you to attend. But usually somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks up until 6 months after is when that talk actually gets put out online. And
mm,
so that's the opportunity that you have to kind of also re-engage people, get people excited. Did you not get to come to my TEDx? Let me like, if you don't mind, help me put it out into the world when it goes live, right? So you are kind of doing that pre-launch excitement, and
mhm,
then there's almost like a second launch of it going live. And then what I would say is that you're then a TEDx speaker, and I know that having TEDx on people's as seen on and those types of places is really important to people, but make sure that you allow people to continue to see that talk,
mm,
right? So
mm.
put it into your content plan every once in a while. You don't have to go crazy and put it out there all of the time. But after that launch time where you're putting it out pretty frequently, continue quarterly or whatever feels right to you
Yeah.
to re-engage people and allow people to experience it over again.
Yeah, your website, your email signature,
Mhm.
wherever there could be some eyes on it.
Correct, correct. And that's cool because you don't ever know. I have not cracked the code as to how TED, the parent company, chooses their featured talks, but
Cool.
that's another opportunity. I had someone who came through our specific TEDx, and 2 years passed, and then he was featured on the TED like a main website, and they put it out through their social media, and they, right? So you don't know when that conversation is going to reemerge, or you're going to get an opportunity possibly to be exposed on a very different level.
Ooh, I
And
love that. I love
yeah,
that.
so to your point too, Jasmine, I do think that it's always good to really, think about, are you ready? Is this the opportunity that you want? TEDx is going to be around. So it's not like you're going to miss your opportunity, but really think strategically
Yes.
about your visibility and think about what pieces make sense right now and what might be something down the road.
Yes.
Um, and build that vision of yourself to be able to accommodate the possibility of the visibility that you're going to experience
Yes.
when you get on a TEDx stage.
Yes. And is your business set up to receive that level of exposure if it
Yes.
happened? And I think what you said was so good, because I would have never I would have been so upset if I decided when I first started taking speaking as a professional career in
Mhm.
2015, if I had did a TEDx then versus where I'm at right now in 2022. And so
Yes.
I think that what you shared was so important. My message is clear. I've gone through life. I know how what my big idea is with the work that I do.
Yes.
And I didn't know that when I was, even though I have had, 10 plus years in education, I wasn't clear on that messaging. And so some
Mhm.
people are just so gung ho about adding the TEDx, and you can miss an opportunity of a lifetime
Yes.
by not having the clarity, not getting the support. Because I'm going to add that too. I'm not a TEDx coach, but trust and believe I will be hiring one
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
know how powerful seeding opportunities is. And this is
100%.
one where you can seed an opportunity for more visibility, more eyes on the powerful work that you do, you can then leverage to make more impact for the communities that you serve.
I yes, 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 so much yes. And I think even like I could go on forever about have you built out how to receive, right? Because when energetic exchange is just that, right? When you put yourself out there, there is an energy that you put out and you will receive back what you put out, right? And
Mhm.
so if you have not put together the framework, the groundwork to be able to the back end to be able to accommodate what
Mhm.
could possibly come at you
Mhm.
from taking an opportunity. I thank you so much for sharing that, Jasmine, because I think it's widely overlooked and really, really important and foundational.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the systems and structure lady for speaking businesses. Okay.
I know.
We
And
want to
thank you
build
for being that.
sustainability. Yeah, we want to build sustainability, right? And
Yes,
you can miss out on not doing the prep work that's necessary,
that's
And if
right.
you don't care about that, if you're not interested in that and you just want the visibility piece, that's okay too. But for the most
Totally.
of us, most people that are listening to me, we have businesses and brands that we're concerned about
That's right.
as
That's
we're
right.
going out there and sharing our message.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
thank you, Erin, for sharing. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. And I love talking TEDx. It's not an area that I coach on or I consult on a lot, but it is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I love TEDx, and I'm very happy to offer any support or guidance that I can, or resources as well. I have people who I would send you to for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let the listeners know where they can find you.
Awesome. So you can find me at erinneuhardt.com. You are welcome to email me at Erin at estudio, that's ESTUDIO dot events with an S on the end, or find me on social media. And I'd love to have a conversation with you. Tell me what you have going on. And I can't wait to support you.
All right. Oh, thanks again, Erin. I don't know. My love language is words of affirmation, so I do love on you a lot. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. And honestly, truly, like thank you for the soul work that you do. It is so important. And I am so grateful that I wish we could clone you and have many of you out doing this work because you're making such a huge impact. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Listen, Erin came back and shut it down. What a beautiful, beautiful conversation. I think for most of us, we have this huge desire in our heart to get out there and make an impact. But I want to highly encourage each of you to see that even with all of that heart, we need to sometimes pause and then strategically think about, is this step actually necessary for me to elevate my speaking and elevate my impact? Am I set up within the systems and structures of my speaking business to really leverage this so I can help the communities that I serve? Or will this, if I move too quickly with this specific aspect, cause detrimental effects to all of the hard work that I have created? So I hope you know that I'm ready to submit my application for TEDx. For those of you that are interested as well, type it in the comments, right? We're all going to be in a position at some point in time to share our message, our big ideas. So never let that be I would say the best way to describe it is never allow it to put you in a place where you're scared to move forward, but always remember to keep the strategy and be intentional about your actions. Don't forget to follow Erin. And if you have found this particular episode helpful, we would greatly appreciate it if you take the time to leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. This allows individuals to find out about the work that we do and also to grow in their own speaking business. Reach out to us at jasminehaley.com to find out more about the Legacy Scalar consulting firm, and I will talk to you all next time.